we're heading into draft number 4 in this best of 5 series. And, as we already said, it is going to be Ballistix with the first pick, first ban.
Might have this constant ban, which was not the same back in HGC Korea, but ever since watching Western and Eastern, what teams could do with that Mayap, still a hero on top hat, a ban-worthy one for sure.
Yeah, Maya very nice on this map. Huge mid control, just allows her to completely dominate these rotations. Just instant wave clearing out that mid wave, giving you so much flexibility between the two, bottom half of the map lanes. So I'm really not surprised to see that ban coming out. I mean, Shores hasn't been picked too much throughout that tournament, and there's the throw ban. A little bit, surprising to see Ballistix go for that one. Maybe they don't feel confident first picking it, but they don't want to play against it, and they expect that Tempest will take it during that first rotation.
Possibly, maybe wanting to prioritize the supports, with Deca Kane currently being let through, or getting a tank in the form of Diablo, which could be allowed through as well. Never mind, as we do see the Decade Kane left available, Reina left available. There are options here for Ballistix.
I think it basically comes down to whether they feel that Reina is that much better than the Phoenix, or if they just want to play the Decade and play that solid 2-man bot lane that we've been identifying in some past Dragon Strider drafts. It's so hard to break this Decade playing bot side. The 2-man, pretty much any hero paired with him has so much sustain, so much kill pressure with the combo. It's just such a dangerous bot lane to play against, and I think, whatever Tempest goes for here, they're going to have some heavy roam to try and take out this Decade Kane.
And they'll have to fight against the sustain. When we go to late game, Decade sustain can actually top out premium from all the games that we've been seeing here. But Reina, of course, getting picked up by Tempest, along with Anubarak, very heavily prioritized. I didn't really think that Anubarak needs to be in there, but maybe grabbing one of the solo lane if they want the macro like a Dehaka, or if they want some peel already, grabbing the Irel, I think was a better choice. But let's see how they want to use this later on.
Tempest have been very much avoiding the Garrosh, but they could have still potentially picked the Muradin. But it is, like you said, the Anubarak being prioritized. And Ballistix instead bring out that Garrosh as he was let through to this stage. And they, on the other hand, have been heavily prioritizing the Orc.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen these Korean teams favoring the Anubarak over the Muradin. We see Hooligan locking in that Garrosh again. We're going to see if we get some hungry Hooligan as he's going to eat even more of those cocoons from Sign.
That is the potential. If he can get those Indomitables well timed, then he will be able to block these as we head into the second ban's immediate Dehaka removal. This is not the largest map, but it's one where quick rotations can be the difference between the objective being captured or being able to get those quick ganks and gain pressure onto that bot lane.
Tempest was trying to have some choke onto the Dink, but Ballistix, of course, picking up Garrosh that was not required, moving on to the solo lane. Thralls are also banned, so I think Irel stands on top. Do they want to really compete against the solo lane? They do evade because they already grabbed their Hanzo. Banning out Phoenix, which was also an option for themselves. Seems like they're moving on to something else maybe. Oh, but it's not Diablo this time, but Greymane is also up in their sleeves.
Tempest also now have the option to, in fact, pick Irel themselves if they want to. They have been very much leaning on Blaze in this tournament so far, significantly more. So the question is that what they want? No, they do bring out the Irel. And once again, jumping back to that Karazim.
I really like this 3-man rotation that Tempest have developed. The Anubarak Monk, like I said, very strong roam combo. Definitely looking for ways to punish that Decade Kane. But the Garrosh holding that Tri-Brush will make it very, very difficult. I'm expecting Ballistix to look for a very strong mid laner to pick up here. Play that Hanzo Decade bot. Have Garrosh anchor that bot lane to make it safe from these Anub roams. Try and make it as safe as possible for that lane to get as much value as it can. But I'm really curious, especially with that Phoenix ban, to see what they're going to go for in this mid lane.
Blaze and Li Ming comes in. Hero that can clean lanes very quickly, but is also relatively gankable if the teleport is not on point.
Yeah, very standard as they can be. They came back into the series against Blossom with picking all those comfort heroes. This is the team comp that they have been playing so many times over and over in the Dragon Shire. They also got Deckard in that to keep Garrosh alive. I think they have built up a very easy one for themselves.
And the Junkrat to finish out the draft for Tempest. Even more crowd control, even more burst damage in the form of that Riptide. So a great follow-up for Anubarak. So very cool to see that here. There's so much disruption on this team of Concussion Mine, Irel knockback, and of course all the CC from Anubarak.
Yeah, I really like this Junkrat pick, actually. It kind of salvages their bot lane, which they are probably going to end up losing. They're going to have a lot of pressure there, but what Junkrat could do is he could deal with those Siege Giants very easily using the Concussion Mine. He can wave clear out those waves that will be coming into his towers. He has a lot of control in the bot lane in general, and can also provide some good follow-up to this Anubarak Karazim if it does make its way down to bot lane. I'm a little bit nervous about this Li Ming for SDE. I imagine they're going to be playing it around the mid lane, but I think he's going to struggle, and it's going to be quite difficult. I wonder if it's kind of like a snap pick. You know, you see Anubarak, you pick Li Ming to deal with that cocoon, but I do wonder if it's going to make their rotation a little bit too weak, and they may struggle to get to those team fights where the Disintegrate is going to get a lot of value.
Well, we're going to be finding it out as we're going to be heading into game number 4 of this best of 5. It is still going to be Tempest versus Ballistix, and we are heading to the Dragonshire.
In blue, lockdown on Junkrat. Good playing Rainer. Dami on Nirel this time. Sign again and again. Anubarak hide on that famous Karazim is Tempest.
And looking to close out the series on the right, it is Ballistix. With Muggy on that Decade, SDE on the Li Ming, Jongha on the Blaze, Hooligan on the Garrosh, and SESE on the Hanzo. And this audience onto some serious hype in this game number 4.
Getting even more heated as Tempest has started to get that number up on their score. Still 2 games away, Ballistix. They need to close this one as momentum have shifted into Tempest's hands a little bit. And I think that 5th hit Junkrat, as Snitch mentioned, is actually a great one. Hold on to that thought as Snitch. That Junkrat did get caught for a second, but of course Li Ming can't go in yet. Does not have Calamity, so can't really get the finishing kill.
As such, Lockdown does live, but that was a lot of very scary damage, at least for the moment. Looking at the level 1 talents, everything looks pretty normal, but the ones we can see variation on, we see new habits coming in for Blaze, and we do see the Nerubian armor coming in for the Anubarak. Other than that, everything is exactly what we would usually see.
Because there will be just chains after chains of crowd control from Tempest. Even Blaze. You can just pop that Unstoppable and walk out sometimes as there is a gank on to Dami.
Urel though, and Dami escapes.
Yes, Urel can escape for sure. That's not the hardest thing, but you do need that hammer onto the perfect placement sometimes. And because there was a big rotation, but if this takes a long time, Ballistix is coming around from the back, gets rooted. Let's see.
Good knock up onto a Hooligan, preventing that Groundbreaker. Finally is able to get it as Hyde is dropped low, but he's too near his own minion wave. He would easily be able to dash away, and Ballistix back up.
That was a risky one from Tempest. They knew that rotation was coming down. They needed that time to be done, and because of that, getting that.
Find the gap. He's found it. Wait. Oh, he got.
Needs a little bit more time.
Zoned away, Decade unable to interrupt thanks to Sign, and the 2-minute Dragonite. The counter kill though by Ballistix, killing off Junkrat in the bot lane, and that's going to limit the damage of this Dragonite as Ballistix can commit more people to this as there's now less pressure onto bot lane.
Oh yes, for sure. Very, very early Dragonite. Not saying Dragonite does no damage, but if you have that in front and Junkrat just poking freely on the back, it would do more than double of what Dragonite can do by himself. Losing Junkrat, of course, is not the biggest thing, but Ballistix still able to kind of delay the attack that was available for Tempest with that Junkrat kill.
So we see the Dragonite, it's just burning through towers for the moment. Once again, towers are a lot less valuable than they used to be, which is, of course, lowering the value of these early game Dragonites compared to a couple months ago. But in this case, Rainer in that Dragonite, still able to grab 2 towers. It's still a decent boost in experience.
Pretty quick finish onto Hanzo's geometry there, as they would love to have quicker camp timings. With Hanzo, this is exactly what they are looking for with Li Ming, and the rest of the crew camp is not really the best tool for the camps, as CSC basically needs to be there for their own camp to control the macro. So they would likely to have the slow man rotation along with Li Ming maybe 4, but Blaze cannot really push too far away because once that Irel and Ubarak dives in, even Blaze pretend without the bunker will get caught within the gates.
It looks like Anubarak a little bit afraid of the amount of crowd control that Ballistix can offer. Not going for the Underking this time for the hard engages. In this case, going for the Shed Exoskeleton. That extra movement speed. It's an interesting talent choice here, but it can give you the opportunity to get away from Garrosh after you've already engaged using your Q, using your E, sorry. It just means that you have to engage from a little bit closer.
I think it's also stopping himself from diving in too deep.
That's true. You guys can't overshoot if you have
go
less
way too far in, Garrosh will just toss you. You can't of course you can't go back, but if you're further in, you can't go back. It makes it harder to go back. So Tempest with this camp, they would like to open up the wall at least because they have taken damage onto their own. Got that root GC. That's a scary thing.
And everyone backs up because guess what? Garrosh is here. And that immediately creates a little bit of concern because you do not want to get flipped into that fort range. Even with that little bit of mercenary left to absorb a shot or two, it's not worth the risk and you would likely die.
Not this time. Not invading, of course. They know the rotation already. One more Blaze because of that. Blaze against Irel is going to be a tough matchup. So Blaze as well as the wave play, there are lots of rotation where Jungha just rotates down, so mid when the other rotation is taking the camp, or the bottom one. So they have the same pattern over and over again, and Tempest just reacting against it.
Tempest with half a level lead right now with this reactionary play, but they are still going to be forced back by Ballistix. They get the double channel, not able to cap, but they are able to get good damage onto Jungha, whose charge away is blocked. There's the steel trap, hide from the side, and that's going to be a kill for Tempest. They're looking for more as Darby pushes in. That concussion mine is in a really annoying spot.
Oh yes, but just the Blaze kill. Seems like it's just enough because they have the wave kind of prep for the top as well, but they can get all the shrine. They need to get this one, and it's going to continue with the Dragon Knight using all the time, and they're closer to 10 as well. So Ballistix, I think there is very low chance that they get this one back from themselves.
Karazim, Raider, Junkrat, all heading up to this mid area. Great pressure by Hyde, guarantees that second Dragon Knight. And this time it is Dami. He is all aboard, and he's going to look to put on this pressure.
Oh yes, when you do not have too much escape, making your way around that tri-bush, you are basically asking for Tempest to catch yourself right in the middle as Hyde will just dash in, Anubarak will change GC. That's exactly what happened. I think he needs to start going around from this moment on.
You're exactly right, G-Clef. He might need to reevaluate that engage angle as they move in. SCSC punted away.
Cocoon Blaze in the middle lane already. He's out, can't propulsion away. Actually, the mine helped him escape in that path.
An unlucky angle there for Lockdown, unable to get that. But in the meantime, neither are they. Tempest are not going to get forts either, as both lanes are defended. Raider though will change that, and he will finish off that bottom fort. The first one of the game going over to Tempest.
Still without that Blaze second kill. Tempest got what they wanted. They got the fort, and Ballistix barely hit 10. They have a massive lead into this game. They control a whole lot into this map. And they basically control this tri-bush with their rotation as long as they maintain. They can even make that further into when they take the camp at the bottom. They can actually pressure the keep wall at the bottom. They're not doing it yet. They would like to do it, but because they want to set it up for the next round, use that macro, not just waste it. They are just slowing it down for now.
Interesting that Li Ming is actually holding her level 10. She is against an Anubarak with Cocoon, and this usually ends up being a insta-lock-in on that Disintegrate to try and burn through that Cocoon and free whoever is inside. This might end up just being a reactionary pick for if Li Ming is the one Cocooned first in the next fight.
Just in case you can catch one off like Raynor, Wave of Force will help you get the kill just in case. I think it's going to be a niche pick at the right moment, pre-13. But Disintegrate does make better sense, because Cocoon will basically be wasted at the time, leaving Cocoon to burn that off super easily. Even though Hooligan has been eating a lot of Cocoon, once that is not on Garrosh, it will not be the same situation.
We see Sea Giants taken for both teams. This Tempest, theirs was a little quicker here, so it's going to be pushed up a bit more. But with no one rotating in to deal with it, they're pretty free to take down this bottom bruiser camp in exchange, whereas Ballistix, they prioritize pushing up the top lane.
That's a setup that Tempest had in their mind ever since they got the kill onto Blaze, got the Dragon Knight. And meanwhile, Ballistix, they can get the walls, but not the fort. They can't really do too much damage onto the fort, making sure Ballistix does not get their hand on the bottom one, because Tempest controls the main macro on the bottom as well. And they keep their level lead. They have 13, so they're really never letting go of their lead. Ballistix, they are trying, but they're falling behind a little bit more in this case.
Yeah, here's where we can see a big problem for Ballistix, because Tempest have many people up here. That's a double channel, and this time, no one's even close to near, as Tempest pick up the third Dragon Knight of the game, because they forced a reaction from Ballistix in that bot lane with that double camp capture.
This was all set up minutes ago. Great macro play, and the shot calling from Tempest having that understanding. Ballistix, even if they knew that was coming, they had no choice to just give it up by the level difference as well. The talent, you do have to catch up. You can't really risk too much. You just have one more game to win, and you will have the best of 5 win. But still, Tempest, they are on the rise. You lost the last game. They gotta be safe.
Yes, Tempest are looking so much better in this game than the rest of the series so far, but Ballistix, they're so close. They're inches away. They cannot get inside their own heads right now. They have to burn through this Dragon Knight. They have to defend their keeps, and right now, moving very aggressively forward, Garrosh even groundbreakering the Dragon Knight. It doesn't actually stun it, but he still gains a groundbreaker stack.
Yeah, this is how you earn everything. Just making sure Ballistix burn that EXP. Of course, Blaze will catch that wave, about half of it, so they don't really waste the entire thing. But that's how you draw your opponent to waste, force the rotation up and down, so you can actually get more value up off of the other side. There's no camp or other super hard pushes for Tempest right now, so they're not really diving in too hard, which will actually cost them on the same talent. Of course, they do have a level difference, but they don't want to risk it right now.
Ballistix, once again, hiding in the bush. They've controlled this top bush a fair amount here, but Dami not even thinking about rotating down there. Doesn't want to get himself caught out. As we are going to enter into a more passive stage for the moment. Ballistix, I mean, if they wanted to fight, it is pre-16, but still, a level and a bit down is a really crazy thing to move into at this stage.
It's just like game 1. It feels just like it's super passive one. Have your lead, never let go. Make sure you have the control, some vision control to not make mistake, move together as one. And it's kind of the opposite how Tempest this time holds the lead instead of Ballistix, and they're just snowballing that slowly, not too heavily, so that they will actually create some mistake by doing it. They do have 16 now with that camp. Perfect timing.
So that's going to be more pressure once again onto bot lane. They've already weakened the towers down with that double camp push as they begin to get the split up. It's still quite a while before the next objective, as Hooligan, he's waiting for any kind of mistake. But Tempest, once again, they're still happy to play the safe play. And with that scout from Sign, they shut down that attempt from Hooligan.
Of course, he does know. And because they know the rotation down, they were trying to rotate all the way up, maybe trying to think of the fort, but once Shrine is active, Raynor, Kerosene just moving along aside, making sure Raynor is not caught, having safe rotation, going for their own camp, setting up for the next Shrine phase already. Tempest started their own, but Ballistix, they're still busy clearing the waves right here.
Dami was able to put on some good pressure and even took down some of the health on that fort. So even that is the final remaining fort of Ballistix, whereas Ballistix haven't been able to take a single one of Tempest's forts yet. So that pressure from Yrel is very effective, forces a reaction. And once again, it is bot lane that is controlled by Tempest, and that's the lane they want to control. That's the lane where they can get double mercs once they respawn and potentially push in for a keep.
I think they have started just right now. Ballistix, they do have chance though. Post 16, they will have chance with the same talent level. Going in really hard, they do have the control onto the top lane. Of course, the bottom will be pressured later on. The keep wall will be certainly damaged a lot, but there has to be, when there's a chance, they sometimes do have to risk that play and try to have an even team fight in that moment.
Ballistix are finally going to begin the slow rotation to bot lane, but Yrel is already channeling top. There's going to be about a delay on the Dragon Knight, not even a counter Shrine capture, because otherwise this could be the 4th Dragon Knight of the game going over to Tempest, and you immediately see Ballistix moving forward for the pressure as Blaze heads to top lane.
not a good situation for Ballistix for sure. They do have the camp pressuring on top. Jungga goes on top. On the bottom, Jungga goes on top to get the Shrine back. Just matter to go around. Macro play coming out from Ballistix.
Groundbreaker, Warbreaker finally complete. Indomitable is used. Toss and Taunt on the new but the immediate cleanse as they cocoon the Li Ming. Here comes the Stay a While and Listen though, but the Riptide and the Dragon Arrow from downtown. Hanzo is not here in the fight yet. The CC is not enough. Li Ming is taken out.
And Li Ming was trying to get the kill, but they could not get the reset. And with the Blaze, who could not get the exit path safety for himself. That was a great arrow. Looking for that. Hanzo actually gets a crazy kill. Lockdown is going off to a weird place, and that's a 2 for 2.
2 for 2. That was so clutch by Ballistix. That could have been disastrous if the fight had ended there. But they get the counter kills. Huge plays here. Magi was actually dropped low as he walks into the total mayhem of Junkrat. But it's still a double cap G-Clef. The Dragonite is still available, and SCSC is getting dove into the fray by Garrosh. Saves his life.
Oh, SC is diving in so hard. Tyne is channeling. No one's stopping him. They do get the Dragon Knight again here.
They're trying to kill Darby. They get the kill on Darby. It's a Dragon Knight for a kill, and that's going to seriously lower the pushing potential. But this Dragon Knight can easily just walk up and grab a fort. XP is XP, no matter where you are.
It will be dangerous if you go all the way into the cave and all the way around. You do only have a minute, but you have to wait for your teammates, certainly. So basically, this will be a waste, but still, I think Ballistix holding that maintain advantage closer to 20. They can use that Dragon Knight later on a little bit to get the fort, that extra experience. It will be certainly be closer to 20 Ballistix. They will be further away and having a hard time because they still did not get a single fort down for Tempest side.
Yrel is so staggered on death though. She's still 10 seconds out. The fort is taken, but the Dragon Knight gets burnt down. SDE is punting away, but they're going in for Sai, but he's able to settle away. Hooligan gets 7 sided struck and taken out.
A little greedy there.
Oh no.
Lays in there. The Junkrat actually goes down in the meantime.
Counter kill. I don't know where or how that happened, but they got it. And that makes it a 2 for 1 in favor of Tempest. But the Dragonite value was completely removed here.
I guess we didn't quite catch the 1v1 duel between Junkrat and Hanzo there.
Yeah.
But they both go down, and which puts Tempest in a better position. They're closer to 20, and they get their camp. Junkrat, of course, cannot poke, so they are delaying this for Junkrat to actually come back into the game. Ballistix still a little too far away, so they have time.
There is that level 20 transgression coming in for the Karazimas if he wasn't doing enough damage already, and the Duskwing for that Reina.
Hanzo will be coming back very soon. Ballistix, it's not that they have lost this game yet, they can still grab it, but those aggressive moves, they do need to think about the counter engage and the cocoon availability that's going to catch. If that catches Li Ming, there's less of a person to actually break that cocoon. You can't distinguish once you're in the cocoon, of course, the perfect target. Once you don't have the mage, they may be lacking the damage, and all they have to do is just look out for the Hanzo scatter, and they're good to go. Change that CC with some damage from Junkrat. They will be slowly picking up kills, and they do have a very nice setup. So Garrosh, how does he actually make them engage? How does he actually sustain in this team fight into the fray to save his team? It seems like that's all he's doing in this so many team fight in this crucial game that's so important for your team.
This Dragon Knight is not good timing for Ballistix. They're still only half a level away from that level 20, but that half a level is potentially enough time for Tempest to get the double capture. Yrel is in position, as is Junkrat. Anub has Cocoon. This is just going to be a straight up Dragon Knight capture for Tempest. So Ballistix are just going to commit to a defense with 20. I don't like that Tempest are delaying this. Yeah, they have everyone grouped, but they're just giving Ballistix an earlier 20.
They want to time it with the top camp. They wanted to push the wave a little bit more because they are going to the bottom. They want a little because Ballistix will hit 20 eventually anyhow. Even though they're giving them time to set it up, they're putting in more pressure onto the other side, which could lead to a mistake, which is not a bad choice to say.
It's very true. It's very much weighing up their options. They choose multiple pressure as opposed to immediate pressure as they begin to dive forward. Immediately, Indomitable is used by Hooligan, holding this for now. Ancient Blessing. The Dragon Knight drops to half health very quickly. Disintegrate used pre-cocoon. Very risky. His bunker is dropped, and the Riptide burns it down, but the keep is already taken. That's all Tempest needed. The question is, can they get more?
They want to chase a little bit, but they do manage to escape, and the top pressure is there, so that's the first one that they have to think of. Tempest got what they wanted, exactly how they timed it, with the Dragon Knight still available for them, so they can actually do some more damage if they want to.
Jiggler, if I was confused as to why that Disintegrate was used so early, I have found out why.
100% win rate.
It does.
Does this mean that Ballistix is going to take the game? I don't know for sure yet, but certainly when you have the chance, you can do so much siege damage. You can do it forever, and even onto the core.
I mean, you always have that Cocoon Burner now, I guess, so we'll have to see if they use
look at
it.
that firepower.
Burns down the camp, they take that. We also have Bullseye coming in for Hanzo, and of course, Respect the Elderly.
I think it's because Ballistix, once they have a team wipe, because they don't even have a single fourth down, they want to go all the way in, make sure they have all the siege potentials, and having that Archon will, of course, speed that up, but they need to win the team fight first in order for that to happen. When you have Archon, when you're in that mode, it actually takes a lot more time to teleport away. If you're caught, you're just dead.
This is such a risky call, but I love it as we see Ballistix moving around. I mean, this could absolutely, like you said, Li Ming should stay out of that Archon mode unless she knows she is nowhere near anyone else on the enemy team, because she will get picked off. But she's losing out on damage you could get from that other level 20, or even extra slows.
Also Bullseye. So Ballistix, they are actually... It is going late game anyhow, so might as well just put into everything to one last team fight. They don't think about anything else that's going to happen. Win one team fight, get the Dragon Knight, push all the way in. They still have lots of structures to go through. Tempest, they are very close, of course. Ballistix, they have to put everything on the line here.
And wow, like you said, with that Bullseye, it adds more teamfight potential. So like you said, it's none of that playing the map style with the potential play of the game to global the Hanzo. It's all in on that extra stun. They rotate to bot. This is likely going to be their bastion of defense because, well, it's where catapults are, and they can clear those up at the same time if they focus on that lane. Unfortunately, though, Tempest, good timing for them. Bruiser Camp is back. Hanzo is taking one in exchange, though, so it will give them a little bit of counter pressure.
You need 3 people to clear camp. You got one. Called Hanzo with Scatter, and that's all he needs by 21 minutes. That will be a scary damage if it dives into one single target.
All 5 members of Ballistix down in this area with Garrosh holding that Tri-Brush. Yarel is pushing top sensibly, trying to remove that Bruiser Cup. You mentioned it earlier. Split pressure is what Tempest can do here because Ballistix have to stay grouped with what the composition they've currently built has.
There's that Archon.
Poking from the side, they take down the tower. Moves forward, looks for the fountain, we'll get that too. I mean, this is cool.
Yes, for the siege damage, it actually does quite a lot, and you can use that range for yourself. Look at that, even damaging the heroes as well, of course.
Finally in range for the 4, but backs up. Doesn't want to get caught by a noob. Nice little activate, deactivate play here as by SDE as he immediately comes out of the Archon mode and pulls back as the rest of his team is also backing up because they know top has to be dealt with. Oh boy, this could be a double cap though, unless they can make the play on.
They're coming back. Hooligan looking for the target. Which one is it going to be? But they back out just in time, so they're not getting caught in this case. But still, the pressure's onto the top lane.
Blaze, he has to defend this. Here's the scout by SDE, seeing if anyone's coming in from the side or below. It's cool. We used to see this once in a blue moon against a Zeratul, basically taking Archon and then spinning as a radar to see if he's stealthed near you, back when stealth was a bit harder to see.
Just using it as a tool, not really dealing with the top yet, because eventually that will take down Yarel, actually rotating up, which Ballistix does not know yet.
Hooligan, risky move forward. He was prepared. He was prepared to get flipped there, did not use Indomitable. Yarel has positioned herself mid, still hovering around the area. Bruiser Camp continues to push top lane.
Okay, it's clearing the mid lane now, so Ballistix does know, but they've had this shrine captured for the last few minutes, and as long as Ballistix does not make a crazy rotation all the way to the top, don't think it will happen. They're pressuring in, try to pressure and do some fort damage with that Archon, trying to have some use, but because of that Anubarak, SDE cannot just be freely doing damage.
Yeah, as Blaze clears mid, more experience. Both these teams level 22, soon to be 23 for Tempest. They move bot once again. SDE with the poke. Garrosh, Warbreaker does not land. Sign forced to back up here. He doesn't want to get caught out by this Garrosh with either a Groundbreaker or an into the fray, or a toss, or an Unrivaled Strength.
Dami is up and down just in case of an unstoppable team fight that could be breaking down, but he wants to put a little bit more pressure because this one's captured anyhow, and they should have pretty good idea how many people are. That's why Junkrat is keep on throwing those frag just to get the info how many members are still staying in that bot lane. When they do have the chance, they will get the fourth because they have seen Nirel at the top.
Banshee comes in, like you said, Urel is pushing in, so they do get that fort. A little bit more experience. Also, I like how I mentioned every single Garrosh Wrecking Ball talent without actually saying the words Wrecking Ball. That was not intentional. As Hooligan moves forward once again, trying to catch anyone who is out of position, but Urel is going for a keep right now, which is Ballistix' time to use his Archon and burn down the structures.
Oh, yes, for sure, but in the meantime, Urel may win the trade. This is only a wall for a keep. And double the keep, top and bottom. Ballistix, they have been getting all the pressure out because they're staying here, but once they have the pressure onto the top as well, Tempest is certainly going to use that against him. So Ballistix, they have to go in here, try to pressure a little bit more with all the flame, all the Archon, disintegrate damage here.
Urel gets a new minion wave. The tire explodes very early. Archon once again burning through this keep. And with Urel only just coming back, they have a little bit more time. But finally, it's about to be a 5 versus 5.
Look at that. It is close. They are trying to get their angle to dive in. Sign is looking for that chance as Junkrat is just slowly poking them down.
It's so low, and they wouldn't have been able to do this without that Archon Pure Power. This is a fascinating style to try and play around this, but now there's 2 lanes of catapults coming in. Bot lane is being cleared, because that's where they are, but top lane is now a consistent threat.
Of course, you do want to get that keep. You're 2 keep down. It feels like you gave up that keep for nothing almost, but Tempest is also at the same time looking for that opportunity to find the hole and dive in by giving up that keep, so you can't really go in for free. STE turns into Archon form.
Very far back, doesn't want to get himself caught out, stuttering forward every now and again. Riptide from the side, SCSC, he knows it's here. Just going to run directly into melee mode, eats a lot of damage, but there are potions for days here.
Catapult is already onto the core. It will start to chip and do damage a little bit. Here's the team fight. As that mine actually saves Jung out to the side. Hooligan takes a lot of damage, but they do maintain and sustain here.
Archon Scout does not see Sign, but Sign times this well, wraps around, but Hooligan spots him.
And they do manage to get the keep at least, but the top pressure will be the one that's problematic because they're staying down here the entire time.
2 catapults already beginning to put pressure onto the core. A third one is on the way as Ballistix, they're looking for their moment right now. They have to try and do something. Groundbreaker not landing on Sign. He's been so good at playing around this.
Archon did get its value, for sure, getting all the way into this keep, which seemed very hard. Without a team fight, they have managed to do so. But what's their plan B? What's their next move after what they got the keep? They got the pressure off the bottom, but now